It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. Today we've got a beer from Bridge Road Brewers out in Australia, and it is a bottle of their robust porter, coming in at 5.2% ABV. There's the label, black bottle cap. Let's get this beer out into a glass and see what we get. This stage of the review, I would like to thank our channel sponsors, beersofeurope.co.uk, Britain's largest online beer store, with a fantastic selection of beer. Look at this, Australian beer, Australian craft beer. It's not often, especially in the UK, we get these beers over here in the UK, so it's quite exciting. And of course you've got great beer from all over Europe and some great beer in the UK. So check out beersofeurope.co.uk for most of your beer needs. So, on with the review then. I've had a little bit of craft beer from Australia. As I said, it's not the easiest beer to get hold of, especially because it's the other side of the world. I've had some Little Creatures, of course I've had some Coopers, whether they still class that as craft beer, I don't know, but it's interesting to actually get a porter, something very dark from Australia, because it's a very warm country, and I imagine that a lot of people like to drink kind of pale ales, IPAs and hoppy lagers in terms of craft beer. So I just wonder how porters and stouts do in Australia. But 2-finger tan coloured head, dissipating quite quickly. Well, it's kind of holding its own. It was just at the top of the glass a moment ago. It's a jet black beer, no light coming in there whatsoever. Nice carbonation rising up the side of the glass. Let's get the aroma then on this robust porter. One is a very, very sweet but fruity, hoppy, bready, biscuity brew. It's your obvious chocolate coffee caramel from the porter, the dark malts that they use in the beer. But in there also is a lovely, juicy, fruity hop. This smells great. Let's dive in. Wow. Stone the crows. That has got an absolutely belting mouthfeel on it. A nice medium mouthfeel for a 5.2% ABV beer. This is very impressive. I'm wondering if they've added some oats in this beer to kind of thicken it up, to really get that mouthfeel up in the kind of medium thick coating way. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant stuff. Lovely mouthfeel. With that, the carbonation levels are quite high. So to go with that kind of chocolate milkshake style mouthfeel, it's very carbonated, so it's kind of, you can feel in your mouth the carbonation struggling through that beer but exploding on your tongue. It really is quite an unusual but very nice mouthfeel. Normally with a big thick mouthfeel with the beer hasn't got a lot of carbonation, and then with a very kind of light, refreshing stout or porter, pardon me, like a dry stout, the carbonation is kind of upped and it's very kind of zingy on the tongue. But I've not had a stout or a porter with a creamy mouthfeel but very carbonated. It's quite a unique experience, even after 1700 beers drank. Flavour then, loads of coffee, loads of sweet caramel and a bitter dark chocolate. But it's like an espresso coffee taste on the back end. It's quite bitter, quite roasted, And the taste, lovely kind of, yeah, espresso coffee. But the mouthfeel for me does it. But that on the back end then, there is a bitterness from the hops. There is a kind of fruitiness from the hops, like a more of a berry tart. Vinous, that's the word I'm looking for. Vinous taste, like a red winey kind of feel and taste of the beer. It's very good. It's going down very, very easy. This is my first porter from Australia, and I'm very impressed with it. Very impressed. Flavour profile. They got a mark in there. So you got 3.5 malts and 2 hops out of 5. So you can see it's kind of balanced towards being a more sweet but roasted bitterness coming from the malt. But then there is enough hops in there to give it a nice finish, a nice fruity finish on the back end. So rating then for Robust Porter from Bridge Road Brewers, Beechworth, Australia. I'd say the one thing, I was talking about that carbonation earlier being quite heavy, quite lively, should I say. There is one big drawback to that, and that is that the beer, having to review it and having to drink it fast, if you wanted to kind of drink this beer fast, you really would struggle with the carbonation. It kind of sits in your stomach and really does fill you up with carbonation. That would be the only thing I could probably take away from this beer. I'd probably bring the carbonation levels down just a little bit. But other than that, it's got all the great taste of a porter. And for 5.2% ABV, the mouthfeel is cracking. Cracking. Great flavours, coffee, chocolate, caramel, lovely hop finish. It gets a 9 out of 10. So 9 out of 10 from Real Ale Craft Beer. Put your comments in the comments box. Please subscribe to our daily beer reviews, and cheers.